Welcome to the recording of Retro Boost Live. Great to be here, all bundled up. Uh, my heating broke overnight. That was fun. So I'm cold, wearing two pairs of sweaters. It's like mid low 60s right now. In this room, it's got me quite congested too. I need to update that previous file as well. We did other stuff. There it is. More Prime. Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Passix. Welcome, Sir G. Also, Buster was here earlier. I'm not sure he still is. The viewer count was going up and down. But hello, Buster, if you're here as well. Good to have you all here. Yeah, GG Falcon, for sure. He won by a pretty big margin too. Like he cleaned house in that fight. I thought that it would go to Fox or Marth. I knew that Bowser had no hope, but Falcon took it. So last time, yesterday, we did the next Metroid Prime stream. Made some good progress there in the sequence breaking run. Today we are finally doing the Retron 5 stream that I've like tried to do like 2 or 3 times, and things kept coming up. Personal life, getting sick, whatever. Kind of sick now, but I don't care. We're doing it. So we're gonna do it. So the Retron 5 is a really cool device. I haven't talked about this thing in like years, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of revisit and kind of go over like the old days, in the earliest days of the channel. So that'll be today's topic. Let me switch it over to our main grounds here. Now, because nothing can ever go truly right for me, something always has to go wrong. I intended to set up my camera to get like a B-roll angle, another angle, to have the dual cam set up like I've done on a couple of streams. But it was kind of hard to get it up there because the Retron is like mounted up top of this rack here. And when I set up the tripod to look at it, I broke the mini HDMI cable that goes into the camera. Whoops! Gonna need to get a new one of those. But not all is lost. We're gonna pull from some old footage of mine to kind of go over the device itself. I'm gonna blow my nose for a second. Hold on. And we're back, and I sound healthier. So, all right. The first thing I want to do is kind of go over like what the Retron 5 like literally is. So this is the home screen for it. The Retron 5 is like a game console that has multiple cartridge ports on it. Famicom, NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy Advance slash Game Boy, and Super Famicom. It supports all of them. It's a really cool device, and what it will do is when you stick a cartridge into it, it performs a ROM dump, and then you play the game like as if it's being emulated, basically. That's what happens. Like you're playing it as an emulation, only it isn't stored to the system permanently. It's just doing that with the cartridge inserted, kind of like the cartridge acting like a key. And that's like the basics of how it works. But I want to show off what the thing actually like looks like. So make sure that's sufficiently turned the way it is. We're going back. We're going back to the past. I'm gonna flip that on. Check this out. Oh my god. Haven't seen that in a while. That's the opening for my videos back in 2021, when I would do like smart home content.
Oh, woe was me. Super Mario Bros. 3. I wish I could play you in 720p.
Oh, it's struggling to play it. There's too much going on. I guess I can't play it straight up, but oh, the old couch, game collection smaller. But this is the Retron 5 video, so there it is, the Retron 5. And me in a sweater, my red sweater that I still have. So, do I do a better shot at this? Come on, old me. Oh, I don't? Really? Oh my god, what a clod. You idiot. Well, whatever, there we go. So you can see there's the console itself. So you can see how it has multiple cartridge inputs, the second of which is the NES one. So that's how you load the cartridges in. Simple as that. It has an HDMI out, uh, two sets of controller inputs on each side. The controller inputs. Come on, dude.
Your picture for any of these game consoles. It is just.
I saw it. Maybe it's after this. Okay. Ah, there it was. Oh, Jesus Christ. Stop it. All right, good enough. It's got three of those on each side. So you got Super Nintendo, NES, and Genesis controller inputs, player 1 and player 2 assigned. The cool thing is that it supports. I couldn't see comments until just now. I turned that back on. We're going back to the past, and you're right. That's awesome. Very very good reference. Uh, some of the third party stuff will work with this. So like the Retro Fighters wired Genesis controller will work with that. 8BitDo's wireless adapters, which is what I'm using right now, will work with that. Or obviously the original hardware controllers will work with this. Pretty cool. And then lastly, the outputs. Whoops. There. Uh, HDMI output. So when it performs the ROM dump, the video quality you get out of it is 720p, which looks quite good. And then it uses an SD card for storage, and that's for like settings for games, save states for games, and I think you do screenshots too. Are all on the SD card. I think it came with a 4 gig, but I have a 32 gig in mine now. And then a controller charging port there. It comes with its own controller, but that controller is not the greatest. I've barely used it. I prefer to use something else. But there's the basics of the actual the hardware. So now let's do it. So as I said, this is the home screen. We have some options here, namely the settings. Right away, scan line filter, fun. We'll play with that. You can kind of mess with the aspect ratio. I prefer normal. Normal will keep it as 4:3. You can play with plenty of other things too. Full range color output tends to make things more vibrant. I've always had that on. It's not. It doesn't really feel like the same thing as like messing around with the color fullness for like the 5X Pro, for example, but it's similar. So I always keep that on. Actually, what am I saying? It is the same thing. You can tell it fades out. Blah, blah, blah. Bass boost is pretty intense. I don't recommend that. It'll make like NES and Game Boy games like intense. So use that at your discretion. But then lastly, we have the controller stuff. Button mapping is built into the system, so whatever controller you're using, you can swap around what the buttons do. Just like Super Metroid supported that in its own options, but like this controller supports that with its own app. So plenty of cool things to mess around with. There's also different picture filters too, and then preferences and how you load games. So plenty of options here for someone. But now, yeah, it's intense, dude. Like it is definitely like the. I remember playing Metroid Zero Mission on my stuff over there, and like I turned the bass thing on, and it was like. It's like Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade. This is intolerable. Like it was not good. All right, let's load a game. I got a stack of games here. Let's start. Oof. Let's spill them everywhere. Let's start with Game Boy. What am I? I'm such an idiot. Yeah, look at it. There. Pokemon Fire Red. Let's stick that in. Stick it in. Oh, didn't like that. Unknown. Sometimes it'll misread them, but it still should work. It could be because mine's a reproduction. But there we go. Alright. So you'll notice I put in a Game Boy cartridge, but what we have here is the kind of Super Game Boy color borders. Turn that down some. So that's a cool feature right there. You get like the color functionality from playing regular Game Boy games. Alright, new game. Oh yeah, my cartridge might be screwed. What's that number 5 doing there? That didn't feel right. Whatever. Let's just go through it all. John! I want to get into the game proper and then mess around with the filters. Slash the scan lines. Ooh. Oh. Alright, so there's like a hotkey to bring up the menu like in the game. We can do save states, which is always fun. But then we got the scan lines. Turn those on. It's very similar to like exponential on like the 5X Pro. It's just lines. The 2X Pro is very similar to this. I know it's very bright. It's hurting my eyes. And then the filters are kind of weird. Like, there's different ones. That one's like some kind of weird smoothing processor thing. Super 2X. Ooh. Super Eagle. I don't think that any of these are good, just as a heads up. Oh, scale 2X. It's already 720p, so I don't even know why you want to do that. Ugh. Ugh. Beautiful. The best one is none. Alright. Before my eyes burn out of my sockets, I'm gonna... Jeez. I'm thinking that mine's probably a reproduction cartridge, and that's why it says unknown. To test that, let me grab my copy of Metroid 2. This is the good stuff. Come on, man. There we go. Performance issues. Ooh. Alright, so Metroid 2, it tells us this time. So, yeah, it probably was. My copy of Pokemon's might not be legit. Wouldn't surprise me I got it for cheap off of a store that sells random stuff. Whee! Scan lines. The scan line, yeah, it's pretty subtle. but they're pretty nice. Like I like how they look. It's not bad. But the output's already so clean that I don't even really feel the need for them. It's the perk to it being 720p and emulated. With that said, this is how I captured a handful of games back when I started the channel. Like the Lord of the Rings video I did was done with this. As was Star Fox, the SNES version of it was also done using my Retron 5. Oh, actually, so was Metroid, the original game, too. Was also done with my Retron 5. So, definitely cool having the Game Boy Color feature kind of run through it, because it's, you know, the OG Game Boy, monochrome, red and black. It's not the best, to put it lightly, so this is fun. But if we wanted to, we could do save states with this. It's pretty cool. Like, and it will save the save states per each game. So every game can have 9 or 10 technically save state slots, and then when you swap cartridges, there's like a profile for each game, so it can remembers the save states, which is pretty cool. So that's Game Boy. Let's do Game Boy Advance. This is like the only way that I can really play these games too, because well, actually, I have a Super Game Boy, so I can play Super Game Boy on my Super Nintendo. But for Game Boy Advance, the Retron 5 is my only means of playing those things. So here's Fusion. So cold. Oh, Fusion's such a great game. We're already in Sector 1. Hey, cool. Here's the fusion suit that I wanted for Prime and can't get. Rip. Like, considering it's a Game Boy Advance game being blown all the way up to 720p, like, it looks quite good. We'll do scan lines. Like, I think the scan lines help a bit with at least Game Boy Advance games. Game Boy, it was harder to appreciate for some reason, but here it's more noticeable to me. I like it. Whoa, whoa! Oh, and being able to map the buttons is super good. Right now I'm just playing with default, but the my brain, I dig it. This is the ultimate Bluetooth. I've talked about this one before. Yeah, Pokemon's was that was pretty wild. I kind of forgot what that looked like. That was nuts. Ow. Jerk. This is one of the first games I ever played when I got a DS, was Fusion. No, I'm stupid. Nice. Yeah, graphically, that looks really good. I like that a lot. I think scan lines definitely add to it too. They help. And then we just do our save state. Boop. And then I can come back to that whenever I want. Alright, now let's do some console gaming. First, NES. I need to get a new NES. Mine's broken. You can't put in 2 cartridges at once. That's one thing to keep in mind. It just won't do it. One at a time. Super Mario Brothers. Ooh. Tangled up. No, stop. Did it keep the scan lines on? I think it did. Yeah, it did. Cool. Or did it? It might not have. Oh, no, it did. Okay, so those are global. All right. The NES is the other one that I think looks great with scan lines with the Retron 5. Again, because they're just like subtle, but enough that it's appreciable. So I dig it. But like the NES has never looked better. I mean, obviously it should. It's emulated. Good deal. So clean. Whoa. Wee. Let's hit it with the old 2X. What does it even like do? It just makes it look bad. Like a lot of the lines get like, is it? I don't know what that does. I'm assuming it's some kind of like internal scaler, and like it makes it 480. It's bad. None of those are good. Ugh. Let's. I don't usually mess around with it much, but there's also like you could import saved games from the cartridges, which is handy if you were like worried about the batteries in the cartridge going bad. So like for NES, Zelda's like one of the ones, but then like all the Super Nintendo games, Genesis as well, like you can import onboard saves. You can also export them, which is pretty interesting. And then there's cheats. You have to like load cheat files. I'm not even sure where you get those from. But then you can also patch. Okay, that's interesting. I thought you could customize the individual game's loading settings, but I guess not. But yeah, the copying save thing's pretty handy because you could back up all of your like say Super Nintendo. You could back them all up to the Retron 5's SD card, and that's how you keep them. It's pretty cool. I have a little save state no. Yeah. All right. Turn scanners back off. Debating turning on the sound thing, but it really wouldn't translate well since this is over a stream. Alright, let's do Super Nintendo. Ooh. No, is that the right one? Uh-oh. No, yes, it is. Okay. Jam it in the wrong one. It's worth noting that the... Oh, actually, I'll give it a second. Let it load. Alright. It's worth noting that the cartridge ports on the system were pretty rigid. And I saw a tip online where you can take dielectric jelly, just like a little bit of it, just to tease it in the port and kind of grease it up. And that worked for me. Hard to say if it's like recommended or not, but it came up in like multiple forums I looked up all those years ago. I only ever had to do it the one time. That was pretty handy. I think I mentioned that in the original video I did. Alright, Kirby Super Star. I just had an idea for another one. I love this game. It's the name you should know. He's the star of the show. Alright. Got the controls down. It's been a while. Well. That was easy. These ending cutscenes are insane. Ooh. Off into the sun he goes. Let's see what scan lines look like with this one. I thought those were power-ups. Stupid. God, I wanted to make another Kirby game like this one, where you have all the moves. Oh. Yeah, skill lines are pretty good with this too. Just ah. Oh, it was a great game. Kirby and the Forgotten Land was pretty good too. I like that one. It still was simple in its nature, but it was good. Huh? Oh! Ah! Ah. Good times. Alright, this made me think of something because I was thinking about it. One of the big SNES games I played for this. Oh my god. I have to re-experience it. I can't believe I'm putting this back in. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're going back. Good lord. What an adventure this game is. And I should have save states. Yeah! Oh man, this game's nuts. Is Pippin already dead? That's the question. Oh yeah, alright, so the game's already busted because the save's broken. I loaded a save state where it's already screwed. That's awesome. Okay, we have to restart it. We have to reset it. It's worth it though. Oh man, this game is so weird. It's like a Lord of the Rings, like little adventure RPG. It's basically just the first chunk of Fellowship. Like it ends with the Mines of Moria, and it has permadeath for your party members. You only get a game over if the player-controlled character / Frodo dies. Because you either play as Frodo or you play as Aragorn once you get him. So if they die, it's an instant game over. But if anyone else dies, the game just keeps going. Famously, like the books / the movies, Everyone's dead. I can get... I think it's Pippin. You have to, like, recruit them one at a time. And I didn't understand that there was permadeath, but holy crap. Die, wolf. Pippin's up here. Just chilling out. Hello, Frodo. I'm very glad to see you. There are wolves all around, and I was afraid to go across the plains by myself. Oh, come on, dude. Did I get him? I guess not. I gotta kill more wolves. Get one more, probably level up. Uh-oh. Come on, wolves. Taste steel. No. Okay, not yet. Okay, alright, here we go. Silly fat hobbities. Alright, so he joins us. So now he's with us. And he'll kind of like autonomously work, but if I hold the shoulder button down, I can control just him. Which is kind of how you grind for XP, because you want him to get the kills. But if you lose your buddy, they're gone forever. As I learned. Did I kill all the wolves? Are they all dead? I want to see. I want to get him. Come on. It's like the most horrifying thing ever. Okay, there's a snake. That'll work. No, come back. Oh, okay. Alright, wolf. Aha! I'm gonna let him die. No, don't kill Frodo. Well, you saw it. So like they turn into skeletons and like die. It's like Indiana Jones with the melting, like the You have failed your quest and allowed the ring to fall into the hands of Sauron. You must gather your courage and try again. Well, I'll do you better than that. We got save states, dude. Oh, not that one. You haven't out of energy. You were like charging a vehicle or something is what you're talking about? Hope you figure out whatever that is. That sounds intense. Alright, here's the save state at the final battle. Playing as Aragorn. And you have to fight the Balrog! And watch how good they do. Oh, is that what you meant? Okay. That's intense. Holy crap. Get in the fight. Like, controlling them all at once? It's kind of weird. We got Mary over there doing nothing. He's just fighting the air. Look at this intensity. It's beautiful. Get 'em, boys! This is how the movie went. What the hell is Gandalf even doing? Here's the best part. I broke it. So like you look at the stats and like I used a code to like do it. It was like a continue code to like start off with at a certain point in the game with all of the party, but I didn't realize that that would break it. Because if you look at Aragorn, he's pretty normally statted for his position here. Level 17, strength is 45, defense is 25, whatever. But when you go over to like Gimli, he's 52 for some reason and has like 1300 health, 48 strength though. The strength is the same, despite being like 3 times the level. Gandalf seems pretty normal, level 20, 200 health, whatever. But Sam is the broken one. I remember Sam being insane. Yeah, Samwise Gamgee. Level 4, 7,500 health. With strength that's higher than Aragorn's. Almost, how much is Aragorn's? 45? Oh, he's 40, never mind, okay. Higher defense, though. Defense is 32. He's hardier, despite being a hobbit. They also use the faces and designs from the animated movie from the 70s, which is an interesting touch. It's true, Sam did carry it. He is Samwise the Brave, because he is, in fact, the slayer of Balrogs. Oh, Mary's dead. It's so traumatic. The only one that's supposed to die here is Gandalf. Legolas isn't even here. I don't know where he went. Get him, Gimli! Ah! Ah! Gandalf's going home. He's gone! Gandalf went! Gandalf just walked away! Oh, he's back. Alright, come on, Gandalf. Whatever that is. Yeah, keep doing it. I have no idea what that is supposed to be. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's taking hits. Oh no! His little bloop bloop bloops aren't they're hitting him though. Come on, get in there, Gimli. I love how it's not even like final boss music, it's just the ambient music for the environment too. It's so epic. Oh, Gandalf's down. And then this just kind of goes on. I mean, Sam has so much health, the thing could never hope to beat him. He's using the neuralizer. He's just... Did you ever use the flashy thing on me? Would you tell me? Sam, get in there, man. There we go. Alright, now they're both doing it. And it's just this. This takes like 30 minutes. It was crazy. I think it was like 18. I think it was like 18 minutes of this, and then it finally dies, and then you get the ending. And like the ending doesn't. Everyone's dead, but like the game's ending was just like, and then they made it to the forest of Lorien and blah blah blah. I think. I could be wrong, but if I'm thinking back to my video on this, I think Gandalf actually lived, and like nobody else did except for Aragorn and Frodo, and the game was like, your friend Gandalf fell, but all your other friends. Oh! I did not expect that to happen. Holy crap! Okay. Wow. That went well. I guess because it was two of them attacking him. And we did it. Frodo's also glitched and like only stays at the bottom of this. Whenever you enter the screen, he just stays there. It's actually kind of handy because it keeps him out of danger, but probably isn't intentional. At last, you come beyond hope under the sky and feel the wind on your faces. Merry, Gandalf, Pippin, I guess Legolas at some point, and Gandalf are dead. Our quest has been successful, but filled with sorrow. Yeah, you think? Also, they just left Frodo behind because he's glitched. The loss of my friend Gandalf, and no one else. Nobody important, at least. I made a point to make fun of this music, too, because this music is all, like, kind of nice and everything, but they still do the scene where Frodo looks into the fountain and sees Sauron. But this music keeps playing. It's crazy. Just skipping all this. I gotta walk forever. Yeah, right here. Welcome, Frodo. The only one who's not here that she could talk to is the one that's not here. Welcome, Frodo, who's not here. And Aragorn, you are here. And no one else. Welcome to all who have traveled here so far. It's literally just Gimli, besides who you just referenced. You insane person. And then she's just like, look into the fountain. I'm gonna turn it up. So happy. He's like, oh, I see happy things, my comforting hobbit hole, and nothing bad. Oh. It's still happy music. It's so stupid. Don't worry about the eye. It's fine. You don't gotta worry about it. None. The music stayed happy the whole time. He's like, aha. Holy God. This game is insane. It's also like kind of just boring, to be honest. There's funny stuff that happens in it, but the moment-to-moment stuff is pretty boring. I also broke it at one point and like went past an area you're intended to, and the game wants to block you from that area by having ring wraiths spawn. All 9 of them will spawn and try to kill you, and like you're not supposed to get past them, and I did, but because they spawn the way they do, I then couldn't go back. But I had skipped critical quest stuff by doing that. Like it's a wild ride. Let's end it with some Genesis. Never thought I'd play that again. But topical for the Retron system, since that's what I played it on. Alright, Genesis. Oh, God. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Sega. Woo! Very colorful. I like it. desync the audio somehow? That's weird. I'm gonna reset that. I broke it. Weird. $50. Blast processing. Oh. Oh. They need a... I've always felt that the camera shouldn't have been center aligned with Sonic games. Oh god. Alright. Just running into everything. Not a good show. Definitely looks nice though. Genesis can look pretty impressive when you pair it up with a component or something like this. It's a very visually appealing console. Nope. Come on, give me a checkpoint. Yes. Do the hidden level. Cool. Got it. Got it. I like it. Oh. Got him. Alright. Nifty system. The Retron. It's pretty much my main way of playing Game Boy Advance. In the early days of my channel, I would use it for more, but since getting stuff like RetroTINK and the like, that hasn't been as necessary because the quality's fine when you have stuff like that. Yeah, like the Game Boy part of it's my favorite. Like the bonus is that you have like the color boost mode, Super Game Boy Player feature, playing them. But it's also just cool to be able to play, you know, Game Boy on the television like that, in that quality because it's 720p. It's an emulation, so it's super trim and clean. It's very nice. Definitely my favorite part of it. I know that there's like this console as is doesn't exist anymore. It's like a different version of it now. It's called the Hyper Beach Edition. They also have like other versions of this where it's just the Super Nintendo aspect or stuff like that. There was even like a Game Boy specific one. It was like this cube shaped one. That was like their newest product. It was like this cube shaped thing for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance stuff specifically. I forget what it was called. It was like $100. So they still be doing it. Let's go back. All right. So there was Retron 5 in a nutshell. Nifty little system. I haven't talked about it in forever just because like the RetroTINK stuff kind of like supplanted it for my uses. But it's still really cool. So I wanted to do like a stream talking about it again. Like I said, the Hyper Beach Edition's the current thing you can find. But it's pretty cool. The Game Boy thing's fun. Obviously, Pokemon was pretty intense with its brightness and the color choices thereby in. But like Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, other Game Boy Advance games I have, like look fantastic on it. And I really enjoy that experience from it. So cool. Next time we'll continue Metroid Prime. Probably like 2 more streams of that, and that'll be done because we made a lot of progress in the last stream. Multiple territories are complete for collecting the artifacts for our sequence breaking run. In like an hour, for the live stream at least, watching the replay, it's later on, but an hour from now live, the 5X Pro scanline videos going live. That's an interesting one because it's simple, but like there's a lot there's a lot of footage in there. Just kept growing and growing and growing. Thought it'd be a good little 20-minute video, ended up being like 40. Sorry. That's cool. Put to use some of the stuff we were playing around with during the 5X Pro scanline stream did a couple months back. So that'll be that. And then there's other stuff I'll be working on that I hope to at least have like a holiday special thing done come the 25th of the month. But otherwise, January will have a lot of stuff go up in sequence. The next stuff I do with the 5X Pro and other things like that probably won't be happening until after I get my Super Nintendo modded, assuming I can, within a reasonable time frame. Because that'll be the next thing that I'm interested in making videos about. We'll be comparing what that's like post having the Super Nintendo modded with the RGB mod. That'll be exciting. So that'll be it today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Nice to have you here, Passix. Sorry that you had electrical issues due to that situation. Sir G, that sounds rough. Hope you all enjoyed the stream. And I will catch you all on the next one. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much.